Hi, it's Carrie, and today's the 15th of March, 2014, the Ides of March, and St. Patty's Day. So I wish you all a happy one. Well, it's been kind of too long since I made a video. It's been like 6 weeks or so, and well, I was waiting till I had some answers to some of the stuff that's been going on. So I wanted to make sure that I had a start date for school to tell you about my funding, my shots, my unemployment, my job. I got lots of information. So I have been so busy filling out job applications and college registrations and questionnaires for unemployment, running back and forth to the offices of all those places. Um, Doing interviews, and I had 2 job interviews, a FAFSA interview. I had to go to a couple different medical facilities to have blood work and TB work done. You know, the TB, you have to get the shot and then go back a few days later and have it read. And then I had to have my blood taken for a titter test for MMR, mumps, measles, rubella, and that takes time to get the blood work back. And then I had to have this form signed so that I can walk that into my college. And yeah, just lots of appointments and lots of it's crazy. So I finally got most of that done, and I'll be starting college actually on April 1st. That's the first Tuesday after school starts on March 31st. And I'm going to be going to school Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the rest of the week, um, I'll be, studying, doing homework. They give you an iBook, and I'll be doing most of my work on the iBook. And then I have a part-time job. I applied for this job last week. I got the interview, and when I went in, um, and I knew this was going to happen because of my resume. All the red flags are pretty obvious. And first thing she caught, one of them was, well, why'd you leave your last job? They always ask that, but then she says, ooh, terminated. I'm like, yeah. Well, I came out as trans in June, and it took them till December to pick my work performance apart and fire me for that rather than come straight out and say what the real reason was. Because they couldn't, you know, tell me that they didn't want me around because I was trans. So then I had a couple other terminations in the past too, and those were alcohol related. And I told her so, just like that. I said, the fact is, I just wasn't dealing with my issues. Instead I was stuffing them, and I was self-medicating with the raw medication, and just trying to numb myself from my feelings, and I wasn't dealing with things. And she's like, so you mean to tell me that you just came out in June after all these years? I'm like, yeah. I said, I was ashamed of myself. I tried to come out to my father when I was 10, and he didn't take it well. And basically, when he realized I was serious about that, I thought I was a girl. I didn't tell him I wanted to be a girl. I told him I was a girl. And I'd never heard of transgenders before. And he said, well, you should be ashamed of yourself to want to be anything other than what God made you. And that being said, I was, you believe, when you're 10, you believe everything your father tells you, so I was ashamed. And so it went in the closet, and it stayed there for 39 more years before I finally in sobriety, working the steps of AA, working, especially what's the fourth step is you work through your character defects, all your resentments and stuff. And that I heard it so many times said in the rooms that you're only as sick as your secrets. And I had this secret that even after doing that step, I was still keeping this deep, dark secret. And after working with my therapist for a while, it came to be clear to me that I could no longer continue to grow as a person in the program until I came out with that secret. And so I started talking to my therapist first, that I was given because of depression associated with my chemical dependency. And when I started to talk to her about it, she says, "Oh," she's like, "You know what? I'm going to take you off the bupropion, which I was taking for depression, and I'm going to refer you to your PCP, preferred care provider, who will then in turn likely hook you up with an endocrinologist because you're transgender, I think, and you need to work with a therapist that's qualified to diagnose that." So that's when I hired my current gender therapist, and was seeing him while I waited for my referral to an endo. I was already self-medicating at that point. By the time I got my first endocrinologist appointment, I was 3 months into my own self-medication on HRT. So that kind of forced my hand, and I didn't have to wait for an approval letter from my therapist. But he would have given me one almost right off. I convinced him pretty early on. As a matter of fact, I just got my shipment of hormones in. They come in a bag like this from the VA. One is spiral, one is Premarin. The containers look like this. And see, this one's a spiral. Spironolactone. 100 milligram. I take 2 of those a day. One in the morning and one at night. And then I take conjugated estrogens. And it's under the name Premarin. I don't know if you can read that. See that? Premarin, which is made from pregnant mare urine. Yeah. Doesn't taste bad. It's sugar coated. Yeah, I take 2 of these in the morning and 2 at night. So that's like that's 3.6 milligrams a day. And when I have a few left like this, and it was due for refill on the 7th, so I can go about halfway through my month taking 3. You're taking an extra. I'll take 2 in the morning and 3 at night, something like that. Use up the extras that I have. So I do that sometimes. I do the same with my spiral. I got a lot more left of that. Spiral comes, they give me 2 months supply of spiral, and they give me 1 month supply of estrogens. For some reason, they don't give me a whole bunch of the estrogen at a time. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. I haven't done an update on my meds lately. Yeah, the results are pretty obvious. I've lost a lot of body muscle. I'm wearing a push-up bra, but I mean, a push-up bra, you can't make that happen. I mean, that's real. I'm a B cup, full B. I can get into a C. There's room to grow, but I fill the cups on a C too. Especially, I could squeeze into a 34, but it's too skinny, so it looks funny because the cups are too small. But I would be like a 34C, 36B, or 38A, but you can hardly ever get a 38A. So, and if I was to find a 38A, I would be bulging over the top of it because it, there's just really hardly any depth to the cups. So yeah, and 38s are too loose for me now. I've lost a lot of the muscles in this region, which when I was first starting on HRT, I was a 38. Because if I try to squeeze into a 36, I would mushroom over and it just looked terrible. I've lost all of that there, so I'm satisfied. I'm getting more and more fish all the time. And let's see, next on the agenda, told you about work, told you about school. I guess my models. I've been pretty prolific with my models. Been out of work, so I've got a lot of time on my hands. And I've been taking a bike ride every day, and then I've come home and I haven't had a lot of money because unemployment hasn't been paying me, at least not consistently. Because I get a little bit of work here and there, and they'll cut me off, and then I have to get reevaluated before I get another check. So I do a little $80 job, and they'll cut me off of $400 and something of benefit, and I'll have to live on that 80 for 3 weeks, and then so yeah, no frills. Oh, you like my hair? I almost forgot about my hair. I got a different wig on. I acquired this short wig from my trans daughter Maya. I kind of adopted my girlfriend across the way. She's younger, and she says, "Will you be my mom, my queen mother?" And I said, "Sure, okay." So yeah, she comes and visits me at my place and watches cartoons like a kid. Hi, Maya. She's cute though. But I needed a short wig for school because all the ladies have to tie their hair up in a bun, and I can't do that with that long wig because A, it would mess the thing up in no time, and B, a wig doesn't fit tight enough. You throw your hair up like that, it throws it all off balance and it won't stay put. So and it just doesn't look natural. You'll see the band around there at the bottom and stuff. So I decided to get this shorter wig, and being short on funds, Maya was able to help me in that department. So thank her. So yeah, next now, my models. I was showing my Mustang before, and it's nearly finished now. I just have to put the mirrors on. But yeah, some of the things that I did to improve its quality of craftsmanship, make it look more realistic, is I used actual metal foil around the window frames. I blackwashed the door seams and the trunk lid seams so that they look more realistic. You can see them through the paint better. The body seams along the side here, and things like the hood scoop and the front foil air dam are a flat black, so you have to put those on after the clear coat. So there's a certain order by which you have to do the different steps. Then there's the engine compartment, Boss 302 or Boss 429 rather. The shotgun. Here's your front view. I actually like the body style of 69 better than the 70, but this is the kit I was given, so this is the kit I bought. And I found a car just like it online, and I actually built it. Got to break that out. From the auction. Now you see here, kind of hard to put them together in a straight line, but yeah, this is the actual car. It sold at Barrett Jackson auction for $247,500, $250,000, actually a little more than that, almost. So yeah. And that wasn't all. Then I got a motorcycle donated. These things run $80 at the hobby shop. This one is a Honda 1100, CBR 1100 Doseki. And you can see I did it up just like the box. Now, it came with decals for all of this camouflage coloring, but the decals wouldn't go flat even with the method I have for making them. See, if you use acrylic thinner and you put it liberally over the decal, it'll kind of dissolve the decal, and it will settle in all over and fill it. It will mold itself around different details like rivets and things like that. But I just couldn't get them to lay level on these funny rounded surfaces and stuff. So what I did is I drew the pattern out with a Sharpie to make sure that all the different parts, the camouflage had to flow through the different parts of the dams and stuff. Because you look, it's like the fuel tank has to flow into one of the air dams, and then there's a bottom part and a top part, and this top part of the foil, excuse me, this top part up here is a different part from this one down there, but you can see I made it so the camouflage pattern actually flows right through. And so I drew the edging out with a Sharpie, and then I filled it in by hand with a paintbrush with blue paint. It came out pretty good. So good, as a matter of fact, that I'll get to the Batmobile later. But then a neighbor got a motorcycle kit too, but it was too advanced for him to build, so he knew I built models. So he brought me his kit. So then I had this one I was building. Now this one is a FZR 750R, and of course I did it too, just like the box with its decals and everything. And most of this is the decals came with the kit, but I did paint in a couple of the areas. I wasn't happy with the decal. And then after that, I got this one. This excuse me. This one sat on the shelf for a while. I didn't work on it, and finally I got around to it. And I like the way this one turned out. I love the way the fluorescent red paint turned out, almost pink, and it's like a breast cancer car or something. This actually, the car actually did look a lot like this color, fluorescent red on white. Pretty cool, huh? And I'm not even going to try to take the covers off and show the engine detail. I have a picture I posted on my Facebook channel that shows all that. I'm having a hard time keeping my voice up. Yeah, I still have problems with my voice because I have to talk for a long time. It gets hard to hold. And the last kit, which has sat on my shelf for over a year, is the Batmobile. And what intimidated me with this kit is the red pinstriping. And as you can see, I kind of got a handle on that. What I did is I used a silver Sharpie, and I drew out the lines with a Sharpie pen, the metallic silver Sharpie, and then I covered the silver over with a red Sharpie pen. It doesn't have that really strong red color. It's kind of a see-through red. It gives a pretty good effect. I'm kind of satisfied with it actually, because I could never pinstripe it with a brush with the quality that I've got with this method, so I can live with that. So now I gotta clear coat it, and we'll see. So yeah. Oh, yeah. One thing with this this motorcycle here, I lost the jewels for the front, for the headlights. These are earrings. The two headlights. I sacrificed a pair of earrings to make the headlight lenses. And then these turn signals, that's white glue inside there, and I put white glue over and over until it filled in the orifice, and then I painted it over with clear orange paint that I mixed red and yellow to make the orange. Then later I found the headlight lenses I had lost. There they are. So I'm not going to even bother putting them in. I like these just fine. But yeah, that's so silly. But yeah, I never did finish my story with that job interview, did I? I got sidetracked. I was telling her about my alcoholism and how I dealt with that all those years. And you know, by the time I finished telling my story, she was, you know, practically in tears, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's terrible! How to have to go through that, you know, for so many years holding that in." And she's like, "Well, I've got 20 years of sobriety myself, so you know, I understand how, you know, how that goes." So she says, "Well, ready to fill out a bunch of paperwork?" So we got started on that. I missed my last transgender support group because that job interview went on too long. I didn't get to make. I was trying to schedule like 3 appointments all that same day, and I had the job interview at 8, support group at 11, and then my FAFSA interview for college at 2, and I could only fit in the application process in the FAFSA. And then I got scheduled to work the next 2 Tuesdays for this job I just got hired for. So I had to call the support group and tell them I won't be making it anymore. So I heard from Erica, the doctor that facilitates that, and she said, it's been wonderful having you in the group. I think the other members were really thrilled to have you, and the way that we set that Tuesday date was we all got together and found some common ground when we can meet. So perhaps when you get your schedule all settled in and you know when you're going to be able to make available, then you can give me a call and the group can vote on, another time to meet. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would be fantastic, because I really enjoyed, meeting with these girls and guys, and I would really like to continue working with them. And yeah, it was the first time I ever got to, talk with a trans man, and he's adorable. I would have never guessed he was, trans, because he looked just like a guy. And I'm the furthest along of the girls in the group, but I think they had a lot to learn from me, and I had they helped me feel, give me some validation as to where I came from and how far I've come. And so yeah, I was happy to be there and to share my experience, strength, and hope. Kind of like what I do in the rooms of AA, and sharing my experience, strength, and hope with alcoholics. So yeah, our gender dysphoria is kind of like that too, I think. But we can't run away from what it is. It's like I get it all the time. It's like, well, why you're trying to be a girl, but you still make these cars and you're still doing all this guy stuff. You still do electrical work, and you still ride your bike, and I'm like, yeah, well, to lock my male self up in the closet like I did my female self for so many years is committing the same crime I committed when I locked my female self up. All I can do is be all of me. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to pass myself off as something I'm not. What I am doing is living my life with no facades. And hopefully, wherever I wind up, I don't think I'm there yet where I feel I'll be in the end of it all. I feel I'm a woman. I've always been a woman. But I would have been a pretty, tomboyish woman. And I'm at least bi, I think, because that's just how I feel about my sexuality. But I'm trying to take that day by day. I'm trying to keep an open mind about these things. So I guess that's all I have for now. I know I've got a lot of friends dealing with personal issues, and to them, I want you to know that you're in my prayers and in my thoughts always, and I wish you all That's so if you like my channel, please subscribe if you haven't already, and please leave comments, questions if you have any. I appreciate everything I hear. Okay, till next time. Peace and love, and catch you next time. Bye.